If you ever want to veer off and do a Frank Stallone podcast, let me know.
No, that won't happen.
Any of you people out there that find humor in this, you're really a sick, vapid person. You got no soul. You think it's funny? This is a sick society. This has gone beyond the pale. You people should be ashamed of yourself.
Dom, what are you doing? You're killing me.
Nick.
All the greatest hits coming out. What else you got? We
have more to do. My sister's turned into a freaking loser, Rocco. I'm turning into a freaking loser doing this podcast.
Sly, what are they going to do to your wife? I don't understand.
Oh, wow. We haven't done that in a while. They were going to rape her 50 times and cut their fucking heads off, Ryan.
Look, guys, we know the day has come. The day has come for Dom to leave the show. I mean, will he ever be back? I would probably say never, somewhere down the line. You never know. I mean, how long does this Frank Stallone coverage take place? I don't know. I will say that this is part 2. It's not even part 2 of 2. There's going to be a part 3, and so part 3, maybe part 3 of 3, but part 3 will be Doug's debut.
Okay,
will be part 3. So that's kind of a good way for him to come in and. So we got stuff to cover, though. But Dom, I'm telling you, you leaving is breaking my heart. You're breaking my heart. Maybe this last plea will make you stay.
Great. Please don't go. Great song.
I'm begging you to stay.
Oh, I know.
Heartbreaking. I'll be around, Ryan. You know
I know.
We'll be in contact.
We're going to do other shows together. Like I said, I've got other podcasts that I do, other little mini projects that I do where I'm always looking for guest co-hosts. We'll collaborate again. We did get one email. Only one person cares about you leaving. One person.
Frank Stallone saying, thank God he's leaving.
This is from Rocco. Rocco's a big-time listener of my Rambo shows, the Rocky shows, and, of course, the Frank Stallone show. He's the one that wrote the Rocky trivia book.
Oh, awesome. Yes.
Actually, I'll tease this. Especially if you're listening to this episode on the Rambo feed, I think I can say this. Rocco's working on a Rambo trivia book.
Oh, okay.
So, Dom, we'll have to have you back on just for like a bonus, like let's do some trivia together. Yeah. Like do a few of those. Maybe absolutely. Just like, okay. Well, we can do like a retro trivia reminiscent, and then we'll do like a First Blood episode and so forth. And we'll go through the trivia together. And maybe we'll get some other people to join and have like a little game of it too or something.
That'd be cool.
Okay. So yeah, if you're on the Rambo feed, don't leave, because when that Rambo trivia book comes out, we'll do a bonus content.
If you ever get your whiskey, we could do a tasting.
That's still my goal and hope, but these guys are ghosting me. Yeah, I still have tried to reach out to the Wild Skies whiskey.
Can't even believe it.
No, they don't check their messages. They haven't blocked me yet. I keep bugging them. Last message I left them was about 2 weeks ago. I said, hello, any updates, please? Nothing. They didn't even look at it. Okay, so Rocco gives us an email. He says, hey, guys, just wanted to start by saying how much I've enjoyed the podcast. I also wanted to say how sad I am to see Dom go. Every day when I return home from school, I would look forward to listening to the latest episode of the Rambo or the Frank Stallone podcast. I'm sure Doug will do a great job taking over for Dom. Keep up the great work, Rocco.
Definitely.
There you go. Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean,
thanks for the kind words, Rocco.
Yeah, Rocco's great. He's a great guy, great kid. I mean, he must be. His dad also listens to the show. They're great supporters.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I think we did get a YouTube comment maybe about your departure. One sec. This is
through that bald bastard. I'm glad he's leaving.
Yeah, pretty much. This is from Christian. Christian says, "Hi guys, just great podcast as always. Nothing. Sorry, man, am I reading? I'm just my tears in my eyes. Now there's something I noticed recently while consuming too much Frankster content. So this is interesting. He says it seems like he had a little nip and tuck done recently.
Ooh, good catch.
If you scroll, yeah, this guy is really digging deep. Well, we thought we dug deep into his Instagram. Christian's digging deep." He says, if you scroll back on his Instagram, you'll notice his neck being visibly tighter since around about June.
Wow.
And he goes on to say maybe he had a little work done around the eyes as well. Just wanted to share this interesting development with you. By the way, sad to see Dom go.
Thank you, Christian. Thank you for the kind words.
Okay. Well, speaking of kind words, Dom, we got some unkind words. Well, I would say unkind words. Our words might have been viewed as unkind.
Uh-oh.
So Dom doesn't know this. So I wanted to drop this on Dom live on the camera.
Oh boy. Yes. What a farewell.
This is a big episode, folks. We got a lot to cover today. It's partly why this is only be part 2 of maybe 3 or 4, because we're going to get into the interview with Frank and Pop Crime TV host Lauren. And speaking of Lauren, Dom, she reached out to me.
Oh boy. She reached out to you?
Yeah. Dom's face.
No.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So I want to be clear about a couple things. Okay. So first off, yes, she reached out to me. I don't want to spoil the ending here. So I want to try to tell the narrative as it happened. Okay. So she wasn't very happy. She was not very happy at all with our coverage of her. And
why was this? I can't see anything wrong with our coverage.
Well, yes, of course. We'll get into that. So she reached out to us saying that she got a notification that we covered her podcast. Now, I will admit, I think what happened was I tagged her when I originally uploaded the video before it went public, but then I untagged it because I was like, I was like, no, I'm not trying. Well, we're going to get to that. I didn't want to be like, I don't want to make this a thing, because I don't think we've tagged other podcasts that we've done. But I think it was too late. Even though I untagged it, I think it was too late. I think she got the notification regardless, even though I untagged it. So the video went public and she sent a message. Now, I'm not going to read the whole back and forth, but if you want to, go to Frank Stallone, Who Is This Guy, episode 32 on our YouTube page, and you can see the whole, I would say back and forth, but the whole, her thoughts on our coverage and my response. Overall, Dom, she wasn't too happy with our criticisms and our banter and comedic effect that we use. Now, Lauren, she and I have talked since then, so I'm not verbally, but back and forth. I assume she's going to probably be listening to this. So I just want to say this. Lauren, Dom is an actual sweetheart. Dom is a true sweetheart. He's like the sweetest guy one of the sweetest guys I know. And I like to think I am too, but I also really enjoy roasting humor. Like I enjoy that type of like the Tom Brady roast. Like when you watch that roast, it's like brutal. The things they say to Tom Brady, for example, and that is crazy brutal, right? But it's funny.
Oh, yeah.
But the idea that guys who are doing the roasting, they don't truly feel that way. They don't truly want to harm Tom Brady, both professionally, personally, or physically, obviously. But but their jokes are cutting and they're scathing and they're deep, but they're funny. Now, I'm not a funny person like these professional comedians. These are professional comedians. You and I, we don't rehearse. We don't come up with bits before we start. We literally just watch things kind of live and we react, and whatever little humor we have just comes off the top of our head. So sometimes it comes off funny, or it might come off more scathing than it should. Now, I say all this, Dom and I, for all joking aside, and this includes Frank, our intent is never to cause harm.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. So our jokes can sometimes be piercing, maybe revealing, but our jokes are never meant to actually make the person, Frank, the Cal Sills podcast, Fletcher, Tertio. So some of these other podcasts that we've covered that Frank has been on, we unknowingly kind of had content from the podcaster. Like we went into the podcast to, roast Frank, but unbeknownst to us, we kind of had some fun with the podcast hosts. Even what's his face, the guy from Saved by the Bell, their podcast.
Oh, Mario Lopez.
Yeah, we roasted him a bit too, right? So it just depends on who they are. Anyway, Lauren, bless her sweetheart, she was an innocent bystander in the fact that she had Frank on, but but she kind of got caught in the crosshairs of our comedic styling that we've done with other podcasts. She was like number 6 of like whoever. Like we were already in that kind of flow where we have a podcast, Frank's on it. We watch the podcast cold, and then, oh boy, this is giving us content that we didn't think we were going to get, i.e. the technical difficulties, things like that. Okay. She did mention that I think she only watched her part of the roast because she said that we spend a lot of time like kind of roasting her, not Frank. And I'm like, well, you have to watch the whole video because Frank takes over. And to be fair to Lauren, as this interview goes on, and you'll see it today in part 2, there actually is no Lauren content. And I don't mean that in a good or bad way. She was almost not her fault. Frank just takes over the show. Like he just...
That dominating presence that Frank is. He always takes over whatever he's on.
Steamrolls. Yeah, he steamrolls over the whole show, no matter what Lauren says. And to Lauren's credit, I'm not just saying this because it had some technical struggles at the beginning that we had made light of, had fun with. But as the show progressed, Lauren actually pushed back on Frank on a couple times in a couple parts about things that he brought up and put Frank back. She challenged Frank on a couple things that he had said. So to Lauren's credit, she recuperated, but we never got to that part in the interview.
Right.
The majority of part 1 was kind of Lauren's hiccups. We made light of it, and so I say all this because Lauren and I have actually been talking back and forth on email, and she was actually going to come on today to talk to us and to crack wise with us. And
instead, she told you to go fuck yourself.
Yeah, pretty much. No, she's at a wedding this morning. She's actually at a wedding this morning, but she's actually agreed to come on one of my other shows that I do.
Oh boy.
I'll actually link the show in the show notes if anybody wants to see my other show I do called The Worst the Best Podcast. It's a fun podcast I do with my brother, and she's agreed to come on that. And I think I'm going to be guesting on one of her Pop Crime TV episodes.
Awesome.
So that just goes to show, guys, we're like a moonlighting episode. You know, Bruce Willis and
Sybil Shepherd.
That's right. Bruce Willis and Sybil Shepherd. They were butting heads at the beginning of the series, but they were making love at the end. Not that. No, right. Laura and I.
Whoa! Slow down. Slow down, right?
But yeah, I think it's fantastic. So I think she's just a very sweet person. I think what happened was when you got guys like the other podcasts that we roasted, like Mike and Rob Fletcher, these other guys. Rob Fletcher. That's not Mike Fletcher. Rob Fletcher.
How you
Mike
doing,
Fletcher.
Frank? Come on, Frank. Rob Fletcher.
Yeah, they were just. They were just such characters in of themselves. Lauren's actually she is a very sweet person. She just literally got caught in the crosshairs of our comedy. So Lauren, accept our apologies. We truly meant no harm. It was for comedic fodder. Some things land, some things don't. But you're awesome. We look forward to collaborating with you in the future if that still holds. So yeah, Dom, please.
And we could always find our unity together making fun of Frank. That always works.
Yes. She did want to say that she truly likes Frank and she thinks he's a genuine nice person. And that's fine. That's great. And we like Frank.
I love Frank. That's why I'm leaving, because I started to hate Frank.
That's right. What is it? You're trying to turn on the monster, the Frankenstein monster.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, so that was actually a fun little bit of news. That was quite a dramatic couple of weeks for me. I was dealing with this on the side. I didn't want to deal with Domin because he's such a sweet guy. I didn't want to get you all worried about it. So I got it not resolved, but we listened to each other, and I did explain to her, yes, like, because she doesn't know us from Adam. She doesn't know our background. She doesn't know how we got where we got, kind of the journey of things. It's just like we were already a moving train of a podcast that she kind of jumped on mid and like, whoa, what the heck's going on around here? It's
Frank Stallone hijacked the train at some point.
So Frank's very aware of our show, and he's good to go. So we'll continue today. Okay. Maybe I do this at the beginning because maybe people are going to lose interest. I want to keep people's interest before they bow out of this episode. Dom, before we get into the part 2 of Lauren and Frank's interview, Frank, on his Instagram, he recorded off his TV using his cell phone. Right. It was either his TV or his computer, laptop or something. He recorded an acting scene from a movie that he was in.
Could you call it acting?
Well, okay. I'm trying to set this up. Come on. So what I love is Frank chose to show us, the public, this clip that he was in the film. One of his 81 films. I don't know which film it was. Do you remember what film it might have been?
I didn't get the title. No. Okay.
He doesn't name the movie, and I guess a better podcast would have the title ready to go. But I'll give you guys what he said here. He said, "Me." This is him talking. Me in Mike Hammer
It sounds like a soft porn movie.
Well, the way this film looks, it looks like it's an adult film.
Mike Hammer.
That is hilarious. Me and Mike Hammer. What is this? So Mike Hammer apparently is a fictional character created by the American author Mickey Spillane. Hammer debuted in 1947. So it was a book series. Okay. It's like I guess it's like a film noir version of a James Bond type.
Okay.
Oh, I think I found it. Wow. It was a TV series that we're looking at here. It's called Mike Hammer, Private Eye. Songbird Part 1 was the episode.
Ooh.
And Frank Stallone played a character called Johnny Dive. It lasted for 2 seasons. Oh, there you go. That's not bad. Yeah, 97 to 98. Okay, there we go. I found out. So it was a TV series called Mike Hammer, Private Eye.
Mike Hammer, Private Eye.
Frank is playing, I guess, a baddie, some sort of mobster type baddie that is being grilled by the police. He says here, it was in the 90s. It was a great experience. Stacy Keach and the whole cast are great to me. I always play the bad, never the tennis pro, LOL. That's what he says there in his bio. So we're now going to show you the clip of Frank acting. But I guess we should tell the audience, Dom, that you tried out for this part as well. Is that correct?
I did. I tried it. It just didn't work out. Obviously, they wanted to go with somebody more star power, Frank Stallone, so he got the role.
Okay, fair enough. But let's look at Frank's finished product, and then we're going to look at your demo reel or your cast. What do you call it? Your trying to play the part? Casting?
My audition. My audition.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Now, before we get to your audition, there's a couple things. First, we're going to show the Frank clip, the raw, unedited episode of TV, him recording from his cell phone to his laptop. No, or I think it's his TV or so. You'll see, guys. Dom, did you catch what happened in this video?
Like, I heard something at the end. It was like, ugh. There's something at the end. I don't know what it is.
There is.
Is that what you're talking about?
Hey, yes. Yeah, I don't know if I want to spoil it because, okay, I'll just spoil it. He's holding the phone. It's dark in his room. He's holding the phone to his TV, recording this TV episode that he's in. The camera starts moving really bad at the end, like his phone. He started to fall asleep.
Right, that's what it was. It's like snoring or something. You hear
Frank started snoring. He's recording himself for 1 minute on TV, and he was so bored that he fell asleep during his own scene.
It's funny because when you sent it to me, I didn't see the post, so I thought you recorded it. So I was like, "What the hell's happening at the end of this clip?" I thought you were dying or something.
No, it's Frank recording himself. So Frank fell asleep recording himself. That's how intense the scene is.
I want to talk to my mouthpiece. No, you're going to talk to us now. I look like a jerk off to you? I know my rights. We took this earlier tonight. It's fantastic. You, Johnny, died with a gym bag full of money and a warehouse full of narcotics. My boys picked up your posse about an hour ago. Johnny, you're going down. Third strike. You're never getting out. I'll kill myself before I go into camp. What's the matter, Johnny? Not enough garlic in the prison mess? Hey, you know what? Hey, sit down, sit down. Skip, sit down. Look at this. Tough guy. That's how you treat taxpayers? Obviously, you confused him with an umpire. That's a big mistake. One phone call from me, a federal drug task force walks through that door, and you're bumping with Noriega until pigs fly. Hey, do what you gotta do. Call. I don't care. Do it. Call.
So, did you hear the story? Now, I isolated the clips. I kind of sweetened the sound just a bit so you could hear Frank started falling asleep. I love it.
As one should.
He's like totally reenacting what the audience did watching this show Thursday nights at 10 o'clock.
Obviously, you confused him with an umpire. That's a force walks through that door, and you're bumping with Noriega until pigs fly.
Ridiculous. Absolutely astounding.
Isn't that amazing? He fell asleep. I love it. Okay. So, Frank, God, I love Frank. I love him so much. See, this is why we love you, Frank. We truly love you. This is amazing. Okay. Now, Dom, are you okay? I don't want to show this clip if you're not comfortable with me sharing your audition. This didn't
Yeah, I tried. I even found out that Frank Stallone was auditioning, so I went to his hair people. I had them work with my hair a little bit and, give me some of that style. So it just didn't work out. I mean, it's something I think about often, but it is what it is.
Okay. All right. Well, here it is. Let's check it out.
On a blockbuster.
Yeah?
I want to talk to my mouthpiece.
No, you're going to talk to us now.
I look like a jerk off to you? I know my rights.
We took this earlier tonight. It's fantastic. You, Johnny, died with a gym bag full of money and a warehouse full of narcotics. My boys picked up your posse about an hour ago. Johnny, you're going down. Third strike. You're never getting out.
I'll kill myself before I go in the can.
What's the matter, Johnny? Not enough garlic in the prison mess?
You know what?
Hey, sit down, sit down. Skip, sit down.
Look at this. Tough guys. That's how you treat taxpayers?
Obviously, you confused him with an umpire. It's a big mistake. We won't go for the task force walks through that door and more until pigs fly.
Hey, do what you gotta do. Cool. I don't care. Do what you gotta do.
Thank you. Wow. Well, at least they liked it.
They liked it. Yeah. Yet again, they went with somebody with a name, and his hair was slightly faker than mine, so they were able to do what they wanted to do to it.
I thought you did a great job. I think you got a long career ahead of you in acting.
Thank you.
In fact, that's probably why you're leaving the show, is to chase your dreams.
I'm going to pursue. I'm getting on MC Hammer or whatever the show is called. We're getting a reboot going.
Well, without further ado, let's continue the part 2 here of the wonderful coverage. Frank was very close, but didn't blow his brains out, much like the clip that we watched.
I'll blow my brains out.
Ever since I was a little kid playing music, we won the battle of the bands. So we were always like really a good group and stuff like that. But we just got crushed. I mean, overnight, I became like a non-person, just became Rocky's brother. And, at that point, it kind of...
I'm also a non-person. We're all just non-people. I'm not a celebrity. His measure of worth is the fact that he's not the celebrity that his brother is.
Right. And he always goes back to the battle of bands in high school when he was probably 17.
I too am a non-person. Dom, are you a non-person?
I'm a non-person. That's what I identify as, a non-person.
Actually, that's the opposite of a celebrity. A celebrity, non-person.
Like a friend of mine that's in the record business, he finally watched Stallone, Frank, that is. He goes, I'm amazed you haven't blown your brains out.
Wow.
Is that a compliment? Is that what is that?
Frank was basically saying, like, you've done all this stuff and you haven't been recognized. I'm surprised you and Kurt Cobain aren't up there together.
Oh my God. Why is everything always negated by what Stallone did?
Yeah, speaking of Kurt Cobain, Rocky was the grunge to Frank's hair metal.
Right.
We'd still be playing if it wasn't for Kurt Cobain and the grunge.
Yeah, ridiculous.
I believed in myself. And I mean, I've had way more setbacks than, successes, but.
Yeah. Whiskey is one of them. That's a setback recent.
Very true. Frank, please, what's the deal with the Frank's bourbon? I gave $50 as a Canadian to a company, Dom, and they took my money. They just took my money.
Took your money. And that's the thing about Frank. Like, listen, we love Frank. We bash Frank. But I think Frank should have went all the advertising, all the T-shirts, Frank Stallone's whiskey, all the promotions. He should have went on his Instagram and admitted that the company went away. Something didn't work out. He could have simply said that. Even if just to acknowledge people that were buying the whiskey. Just say, all right, it didn't work out. There was a problem with the deal. There's not going to be Frank Stallone whiskey. I think he should have been a man and did that. But he didn't, unfortunately.
I don't think I'm the only person. In fact, I think
no, you can't
Rocco and his dad, I think they're still waiting for their whiskey. They live in New York. So
that's crazy. I got lucky. I got very lucky.
I'm not the only person. Let me know, folks. Am I the only person other than Rocco?
Taryn wanted to know, where can you watch Stallone, Frank, that is?
So this is crazy. So Lauren asks a question from the audience, like, where can we see this? Where can we see, you're talking about a documentary? Great question. Where can we watch this? Frank gives the wrong information.
It's in theaters now, playing.
It's streaming on Amazon Prime, I think.
Okay, Lauren's right.
That's the right answer. Yeah.
It's streaming on Amazon Prime. Not in Canada, unfortunately. In Canada, you can rent it from the Apple Store. But on US Amazon Prime. If you have a Prime membership, you can watch it for free. Frank disagrees with her and actually leads the public wrong. Laura gave the correct information, but Frank will now negate the correct information with this.
You can rent it, and definitely
it's
Apple.
free. No, it's actually free.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, it started out charge, but it's free.
Okay.
And if you want.
So Lauren's like, oh, it's free. Now she's probably thinking it's free, like frankstallone.com or
right
on YouTube somewhere. But Frank doesn't say where it's free, just that it's free.
If you find my apartment, I'll give you a free copy of it because I got a box of them.
Maybe this is the problem with the Frank's bourbon. He doesn't understand marketing, doesn't understand how things work. I don't know.
I will admit that I was like, I did not know all this stuff about you. I had no idea. And it, like
that's
you said,
Lauren, that's what I hear from everybody. I swear to God, they go, oh, I didn't know you did that or did that or did that. That's why they called me the most unknown famous person in Hollywood, or the famous unknown person in Hollywood. But I have done a lot of stuff. And that to me is really cool when people say that. It's the same thing when I do a concert.
It's such an odd, I'm the most famous unknown person there, or the most unknown famous person. Basically, you're a D-list celebrity. You're a D-list celebrity. You're just part of many, the Kathy Griffins, the Screech from Saved by the Bell. Yeah, there's just so many celebrities that are just, you were there, you had a blip, you had a moment, but life kind of goes on and you're just not that part of your life anymore. Celebrityism, the trail behind it, Dom, is full of casualties.
Yeah, and I think he would be better off, Frank Stallone, like if he embraced it. Like he should be the kind of guy, like it's definitely not on his agenda, but I think he's the kind of guy, he should probably go to conventions and stuff and sign photos. I would go meet Frank Stallone at a convention.
And there are people that do that. I mean, I see it on my Facebook all the time. Celebrities that were once whatever, like on Three's Company or something, like they just go
right.
They embrace it. Just like, hey, why not get an extra $1,000 for meet and greet day? Sure, pocket that with my royalties and have fun, meet the fans, and it would be very ingratiating to meet these fans of, like, in fact, it was Joyce DeWitt. I just saw it on Facebook. She's 70 something now, lovely older gal. She looks wonderful for her age. No plastic surgery on her face, and she's from Three's Company, and fans line up to see it and say hi. Thanks for giving me 7 seasons of fun when I was a kid, and like there's no shame in that.
No shame.
That to me is really cool when people say that. It's the same thing when I do a concert. Oh, I didn't know you sang and played guitar. I said, well, what did you think I did?
Okay. Again, very revealing. It's like when I play a concert.
Right.
I didn't know you could sing or play the guitar. Who goes to a concert unaware of what the artist does?
Right.
What was the last concert you just went to?
I went to the Killers.
Now, were you unaware that Brandon Flowers sang?
I was unaware. I was like, I actually tried to find them to talk to them because I was like, I didn't know this is why I was here. Ridiculous.
Man, Frank, you're basically revealing again that you play at gigs where you're not the event. Like, you're not the reason why people are there. There are people there, and you are playing music there, and people are, hey, that's that guy Frank Stallone. I thought you were just on the Mike Hammer TV show. I had no idea.
That's what it was. He's best known for the Mike Hammer and Tombstone. Obviously, they didn't know he was performing.
I don't know what they thought I did for a living.
Right.
And but I think, of course, some of the things they say are hurtful, and
I didn't know you were still alive. I gotta say, and I know we talked about this a little bit last time, but like, because he's holding the camera, do you realize the struggle that he's trying to keep those golden records in the shot? He could easily put it on like the table, put the camera on the table and just have his face being prominent, but he wants to show the records, so he's tilting it up.
That's fantastic. You're right. I love it. And there's more gold record in the screen than Frank.
Exactly. It's just his eyebrows, basically, and he's talking.
Hey, Frank, can we just interview your records at this point?
But, you just can't take everything personally because, who's it coming from? Is it someone that really matters? Not really.
Oh, is that at us, Dom?
Shots fired. Is it my son who I stopped talking to because he went on these guys' podcasts? Yeah,
you'd almost would want to say your son might matter.
Yeah.
But we don't matter, that's for sure. And I'm glad Lauren and I have, shaken hands and made up, so to speak, because this is true. Because Lauren agrees with this. Because Frank says, "Hey, if they're taking shots at you, they don't matter. We don't matter. In the grand scheme of things, Dom and I don't matter. We're nobody. So if we do take shots at, Rob Fletcher or Tushia or Alex the trainer, like we don't matter what we say. It doesn't matter.
Frank. One more sec. Come on. We might have a relationship.
Great point.
And I've basically been on my own. I mean, I always had bad management, but I've never had anyone, a lot of these acts.
We really should have started like some sort of spreadsheet of the reasons why he's failed.
There's a lot of him like just pointing fingers. He just does that a lot. Like I had bad management. A lot of these people, the Eagles didn't have a brother that got famous the same year their album came out.
That's right. It's never my music didn't resonate. Right. Like the reason why Bruce Springsteen is as big as he is because he had good management. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Yeah. It wasn't his songs. He had hit after hit.
It wasn't his song singing composition ability or Billy Joel or any of these guys that have lasted for 40, almost 50 years. It's just, they've had good management. The Stones, good management.
And people always start like, I think it was Billy Joel's first couple of albums like weren't successful. And then he eventually started striking. So it's like you just stayed in that unsuccessful thing, Frank, and then you just never,
Well, he said himself 17 years. He was doing this for 17 years before Rocky came out.
Right.
And the only reason he got a bump was because of his brother's famous film.
Mm-hmm.
But it was because Frank's never had good management. Now, who hires your management?
You.
Okay, exactly. He's definitely people didn't come to him saying, "Hey, I'll be a good manager to you." You have to go find the management that works for you, Frank. At the same time, it's not up to management to find you. It's like you need a job, but you're waiting for people to come to your house to say, "Are you looking for work?" Right. You have to go out there and find these people.
That are successful, like the Eagles or stuff like that. They always had a great team around them. I never had a team around me. So basically,
you need a manager. You need a manager.
He needed George Washington Duke from Rocky V. Is what he needed.
Why they didn't write about me? Because they're the Eagles. Nah, you need a manager.
They put a nail in my glove and punched me in the head.
Yeah, they put a nail in my guitar strings. Bleeding from my fingers on the stage, you see.
There's a photo of me playing next to the Eagles.
So why did they write about the Eagles and not me? They had better songs than you, Frank. Ah!
Nah, Take It Back was just as good as Take It Easy.
Myself, I never could get good management, good agents, and things like that. And and same thing in movies. I mean, it's amazing that I've done 81 movies. And some
the old quantity versus quality, Dom. Like Nicolas Cage done 50 films in 2 years. I don't get it. Or Bruce Willis, his last 40 films. I don't understand. Why aren't people? It's called quantity and quality, folks. Look at Quentin Tarantino. 10 films.
Right. Mm-hmm.
He might not be a very good director, Dom.
Right. But there's also a difference, too, in the roles he's playing. I mean, we joke about the Tombstone thing. He's saying that one of those is a movie, but he's not a significant role. It's a bit part. It's not like somebody like Eric Roberts, who's in like 150 movies, but he's in like small talking, kind of like a sizable role in those movies. But he's a working actor, too.
Yeah, Frank, you're not the star of these films. You've been in 81 films, almost an extra in some of these, quite frankly, speaking of Frank. But how many films have you started? Like your brother has starred in almost as many films. Like he's the star, of the, good or bad. Frank, you've been in films. You've worked in the industry. Your name is on IMDb, but we'd have to, let's just see what was the last film Frank Stallone starred in. Like he is first on the bill, right? He has 3 upcoming films. So we've got Veterans Day.
Yes.
Remember that movie? We showed like a private showing of the trailer, Birth of the Black Underworld. Remember that?
Yes, my God. Yes, I remember.
That's still post-production. Veterans Day is in development. And then he's got another one coming out called Where's Carson? So, Dom, you're coming back on the show because we're doing some of his films. Regardless, we're going to do some film reviews.
Veterans Day. I mean, I hope that eventually comes out. I was waiting for that one.
He was in there's something here called Death Aquarium. A virus turns sea creatures in an aquarium into zombies. And he plays General Rambo.
Oh,
he plays General Rambo. There is one review, 2 out of 10. Okay.
If I was more insane and I had time, I would love to go through his filmography and just get every scene of him actually in the movie and edit them all together and see what that equates to.
I almost saw the same thing. I know he was in Barfly. She actually brings up Barfly quickly here, and that was his that was his Rocky. That was his magnus opus, was Barfly. He was decent in the film. I still haven't seen it, but for everything I've heard about the film is that he's good in it. And the movie's good. It's probably good writing, good directing. Like, it's a decent 80s flick, right? So that's cool. And I understand it's one of his biggest films he's the least Frank Stallone-ious. But he's kind of been, like we saw in that clip at the beginning of the show of him, that's his acting. It's kind of cheesy, hammy, over the top. It's okay. That's just his style, but it's not going to win any Academy Awards.
Holy moly. Well, you know.
You're saying holy moly to how many films he's been in. Again, not starring. He's just been in film. Yeah.
Barfly is a great one. I don't know if anyone saw Frank in Barfly, but that's a great one. And someone this morning on Twitter reminded me, they're like, ask him about, it was Steve, it was publicly buzzed. He said, ask him about doing the episode of Tales from the Crypt.
Oh, that was great with John Stamos. Oh, it was so much fun. It was so much fun. I was playing a mob killer with a bad back, you know.
It's like life and art and life.
I got to go back and watch that. I love Tales from the Crypt. I don't remember the episode, honestly.
Really, you don't remember Frank Stallone's?
No, it didn't stand. It didn't stand out.
John was a wonderful guy, really nice guy, great personality.
And I hate it when people do this with celebrities. It's funny. You always hear about this. Oh, I met so and so, and they were so nice. I love how celebrities kind of get this weird pass of, oh, isn't that cool that Bryan Cranston's a nice guy? Well, I just hope so. Like, I work with a bunch of coworkers. Oh, John is so nice, or Carl is so nice, or Steve is so like. Imagine if you spent your day going through all your coworkers and other
nice guy, great guy,
nice guy, great. Okay, can I just get the donut from the coffee break room, please? Like, but I love how celebrities there this. Oh, really? A celebrity was nice? Wow. No, they're just humans too that are popular, and a lot of people know them. But guess what? There's a-hole celebrities, and there's. But I love how when you find out a celebrity was nice, we go, "Oh, that's a wonder. Oh, that's great."
He's not a complete piece of shit.
yeah. My Uber driver was great. He's a nice guy. Uber driver, nice guy. I give him 5 stars. Nice guy.
And then Red Claws with Vince Vaughn. I did.
Funny enough, I think in the Fred Claus film, wasn't that about the scene with?
Yes, we definitely talked about it off air.
I've seen the movie once back when it came out. Wasn't it about like their brothers, the brothers of?
Yeah, it's like these siblings of famous people. He's in like a group. It's like almost like a Alcoholics Anonymous kind of situation where they're sitting around and they're talking, and he's essentially playing the most real character he's played.
Exactly. So he leans into it. That's what we're getting at. Lean into it. Have fun with it.
Well, I did. Hudson Hawk with Bruce Willis. So
have you noticed what he's doing here? He's mentioning all these that we talked about. He didn't star in it's not like Bruce Willis starred with Frank.
Right. That's what he's implying. Though he's implying it was the two faces on the poster. It was Bruce Willis, Frank Stallone. Like,
I love the one film that he shares with Bruce Willis is one of Bruce Willis's.
It's not Die Hard.
It's not a very good film. I don't want to hear these contrarians. Oh, it's a great. Come on, stop it.
Gone head to head with a lot of good actors.
I've gone head to head with a lot of great actors. Again, yes, you've been in some films with great actors, but going head to head, he's talking like he's like Al Pacino, Robert De Niro in Heat.
Right. He's talking about like he's the scene that they play at the Oscars. Somebody's nominated, and like they have that key scene that they play for the audience. Like he's in those scenes with the actors.
There will never be a universe where a Frank Stallone clip is ever shown at an Oscar.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Happen. It's okay.
If you don't have a good team behind you, that believe in you, you have to kind of do everything on your own. If
you don't have a good team behind you, there you go. Nobody believes. Nobody believes.
Always.
Like, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to. No one believes in me either. Like, this is the thing. I too am not an actor. I'm not an actor. I don't have anyone in my life who ever got behind me and said, Ryan, I believe in you. I know you could be an actor or a singer.
My dog believes in me.
The reason why they don't believe in you, Frank, is they don't see it. They don't see Schwarzenegger, Stallone, Bruce Willis, John Travolta, Nicolas Cage. They're not seeing those things. So there's no team there's no one behind you. It's okay. You're just not an actor. Not everyone can do everything. It doesn't matter how much you want it. It doesn't mean you can be it. That's all.
Right.
It sucks. It just sucks. I would love to be a rock star. Like if you could snap my fingers.
Right.
And like you'll be imbued with any talent and any fandom you want. Yeah. If I had like Taylor Swift fandom, like level of fandom, and be a rock band, man, that'd be what a great existence.
I would love to snap my finger and have long, luxurious locks of hair.
But then you could join my band, Dom, because you'd have the proper
Exactly.
I can't hire you if you're bald.
The hair metal band.
This is the hair metal band. What do you think this is? Coldplay? Get out of here with that bullshit.
It's like a great fighter. He can be the best fighter, but if you're not getting the fights and no one's seeing it.
Tell that to Clubber Lang. He was ranked number one. Number one.
Yeah. One. Hey, woman. Spend some time with a real man.
Clever, are you talking to Lauren that way? Stop it.
Sad. And a lot of acts. That's why when I see these polls, the greatest guitar player. Yeah, it's the greatest guitar player you've seen.
The reason you've seen them is because they're great.
They're great. They rise to the top because they're that good.
Okay, and now he's going to go into talking about, you can go to bars in Tennessee and you'll see these people playing. They're playing amazing. I don't know how else to say it. People rise to the top from the Beatles to the Rolling Stones to Taylor Swift of today, Beyonce, whatever genre they're in, they rise to their respective tops because they just are above and beyond those others who try to emulate or try to do what they do. Yeah, there's luck of the draw. A certain person found you, a certain song clicked with the public, and you build on that. There's so much luck involved. So yeah, go on YouTube. Forget the bars that Frank is going to talk about. Go on YouTube. You will see thousands of people who can play instruments very, very well, but they have to have a look, the X factor, a look, charisma, their own original ability. Not just, I hate it when people say, I can play Van Halen stuff. It's not that complicated. It's not about being complicated. He composed it. That's the difference.
Right.
That's right. And I hate it when people say, Eddie's not that great. He's not that complicated. I'm a huge Van Halen fan. I'll defend him to the day because he composed the sound. People say, he's not the first one to tap. It's not about tapping the first, but he created the image of it, the sound of it. He made it popular because he did something with it that went beyond who created it. That's the whole point. So you have to do something. It's not just about ability, Frank. Like you might have the ability, but do you have the star power? Do you have the it factor? There you go. Is there something about you that resonates above and beyond the person that can play better than you? Go on YouTube, put your stuff out there, and maybe you'll be the next Justin Bieber, the way he was discovered on YouTube. But the thing is, a lot of people can sing. A lot of people sing on YouTube, hoping to be discovered. And yeah, best of luck to you.
The meaning of everything, Frank, it just goes back to I could have been this if I had this, and I could have been that. I would have had a hit song if this happened. That's all it is. It's basically him trying to take away credit from people that did make it. And
he is explaining why he's not popular, but then at the same time, he didn't tear down people that are.
Right.
So which one is it? He's basically saying everyone that's popular shouldn't be, and he should be.
Yeah.
Like nobody listens to my podcast. Yeah, I admit. I do a few podcasts. Nobody listens to it. I admit, I get very few listeners. I get Rocco. I get Christian. I also know that my product is better than some podcasts that get 10,000 downloads. I get it. Right. I understand that. That's the luck I'm talking about. I don't know. They got an audience. I don't have an audience. I'm the guy in the bar who can play, like Frank says, but I'm aware of it. I'm not bitter. I'm having fun, but but I just keep playing the bar because I enjoy doing it. I enjoy playing my guitar, so to speak.
Exactly.
But I've gone to bars in my many, many years in this business, and I've seen guys that work at a muffler store playing guitar in a band at night that are better than anyone you ever heard in your life. But they just, they're married, they have a family.
None of the rock and roll artists that we listen to are ever married or have families. They're all single. I think Brandon Flowers is single, isn't he? He's married with a family.
Yeah, definitely.
How was the show, by the way? Was it fun?
It was great. I love that's one of my favorite bands, The Killers. I always see them, honestly, over the years.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, my brother's a big fan. I like their music. I think if I went to a show, I would have a good time. I know a few of their songs, but
they came out at like a pivotal age for me. I think their first album came out when I was like probably 17, and then I just followed them.
They're still a new band to me. They're still like
basically, yeah. Me and my cousin both followed them, so
even though they've been up for like 20 years,
yeah.
They're guitar players, guys sitting in bars playing for $25 a night.
Oh, so they're a dime a dozen. Oh,
exactly.
They're a dime a dozen. There's so many good guitar players. They have to do something different than just being a good. Exactly. They have to set themselves apart beyond their ability. Yeah.
Right.
After Rocky came out, for that short time, my group, we did every major TV show, Merv Griffin, Mike Douglas, blah, blah.
Now, he talks about all the TV shows that Valentine played on. I couldn't find it. It's just not on YouTube. Doesn't mean I'm not saying he's lying, but I went to Valentine, Merv Griffin. But here he is saying here that there was a time that Valentine, the band that he was in, did play on some network television gigs. Cool. That's cool. So that should have shot them up the charts because they had that public exposure, right?
Because then they have the platform. You have the platform that people are seeing you. So really all the shit that you're saying that other people had, you had it. People didn't gravitate towards you. People didn't stick to you.
That's all it is. Like, again, I'm not trying to shit on you, Frank. That's not my intention. It's just the proof is in the pudding. So you did have exposure. You were on national television. People didn't stick around.
And then we go back to that. He more so because of his brother. Like he had the chance to put songs in and Staying Alive, and everybody saw that movie. Everybody heard those songs. Like
he's had more chances and breaks than the average person.
Oh yeah, 100%.
By his own admission, the band went on Merv Griffin, huge network show. Then he had songs featured on Rocky, huge movie. Then he had his songs featured on Staying Alive, big hit, and the song was a big hit. So, like, I don't know what to tell you. Like,
especially back in the day, though, like, it's like a comedian being on the Tonight Show. If you're in that spot, that's it. If you're good, everybody sees you, and you're going to have success after that. So, what am I saying? That he's not that good? What am I saying? That people just didn't like the music that much?
Yeah, like the Stones, they were on these shows too. And guess what happened?
Right. Ed Sullivan and
the audience liked what they saw.
Right, exactly.
Can we see more? Can we hear more? Can we buy more? Can you release more? The Stones would not be the Stones if nobody showed up.
Right.
If they wrote beat for beat Symphony for the Devil, but nobody cared about the song, then nobody cares about the song. You can't control what the audience cares about. Now, it turns out people like the song, but people just didn't like Valentine songs. I don't know what to tell. Like, it wasn't enough. It wasn't Symphony for the Devil. It wasn't Paint It Black. It was
right. What's your favorite Valentine song?
Oh, my favorite Valentine song? Oh, you know what we need to do?
I've never actually listened to a Valentine song, to be honest.
Okay, now you're killing me. We're not going to get far in this episode. That's fine. I think it's going to be part 3 and 4 with Doug. Valentine, Frank Stallone. Let's just do this. So I've got Frank Stallone on the Dinah Shore show in 1978. So this was 2 years after Rocky came out. I think this might be worth looking at. Okay. Yeah, that's the only TV show. No Merv Griffin. So he does mention that he's on Dinah Shore, but guess what? This was after Rocky. Now, do you think, Dom, that Frank would have ended up on the Dinah Shore show in 1978 had it not been for Rocky?
No, absolutely not.
That was a very quick answer.
I had to think about it for a microsecond.
Here we go. So here's Frank Stallone appearing on the Dinah Shore show with Valentine.
With Valentine.
Not only with Valentine. Check it out.
I thought perhaps you could introduce this musical group for us, Sly.
I would be happy to. A long time ago in Maryland, there was this little boy who bought a guitar, and his name was Frank Stallone, and then I grew up with a tin ear, and he acquired all the musical talent in the family, and he's been putting it to me literally for years, saying that I was born with the voice of a frog. Well, he was right. He was right. But he went to Trenton, New Jersey, and with 4 other men formed a group called Valentine, and I think it's a very, very special. They were also in the movie. They were the ones singing on the corner, and this is
took a beer from.
Oh, so it was actually his bandmates that were also there too. I don't know if I quite caught that.
And let's mention that it's actually a Sylvester Stallone appearance on the Dinah Shore show that led to this.
Yes.
Frank's not on the couch right now.
No, Frank's about to play, but that's what's amazing. They were interviewing Sly for winning Best Picture for Rocky, and Frank tagged along. Even on this, Frank wouldn't have been on this show had Sylvester not existed.
Right.
So this is Sly doing Frank a favor, saying, you know what? I'm going to get your band out there a little bit more. So I'm going to, you're the singer. I'm just the terrible actor who's working on Rocky 2 right now. Let's advertise your band. This is your last big push here. Let's get your band out there.
You went back?
Right, I took a beer from, and they're the one they spat on me, and again told me I couldn't sing, and I'm paying them, right? Who needs that? So, but here they are making their, I guess, television debut.
Ooh, I thought he was on Merv Griffin. See, this is what I don't understand. Sly says this is their television debut. So who's right and who's wrong here?
My favorite group, Valentine.
Ooh, still?
He looks very, very like he doesn't look happy to be doing this.
It's like, I'm never introducing this band ever again. To Sly's credit, he's introduced Frank a few times. Remember at the Atlantic City show?
Yes. That was recent. Yeah, that was the last concert. That was the final concert by Frank.
Maybe Frank's right. Every time Sly introduces Frank, his career ends. Sly introduces Valentine, they break up. Sly introduces Frank at the Atlantic show. He's never played again.
Never played again.
No.
Take it back. Take it back. Yeah, baby. Take it back. Take it back. I've been told by some people, and they all say to take it back.
Look at that hair.
As real as the time. That's as real as it gets, folks.
Oh, I love this. This is okay. Well, we're not gonna play the whole thing. It's sorry. The moment they started singing "Take You Back," of course, the song from Rocky.
I didn't think it was gonna be their hidden gem that was like "Let It Be" or something like that.
I don't know. Was Valentine? Did they sing that song? Was that their original track? I think was that their original.
I think it is.
Okay. Yeah, it was. Okay. Anyways, that's amazing stuff. Frank, you're doing great. Okay, back to the show.
Pulled down. It's like we got dropped by a record company. The group broke up. And this is after being on TV shows. And I'm serious when I'm telling you this.
Do the math. Why was he dropped?
Couldn't sell any albums. Just like any other band to be dropped.
Yes, of course. Your agents drop you. Yes, Dom, if I'm your agent and I'm trying to get work for you and no one is grabbing, like, we can't take this bald guy. We just can't, There's no bald actors in Hollywood. What do you want from me? You're not making me any money.
All right.
You're taking time away. I've got this, guy Ryan with hair. And I could get him those roles. Anyways, yeah, but so you got to get dropped. You're not making me any money. You're wasting my time.
It's just like when a director or a movie star, they have those movies that repeatedly just don't make money. They stop giving them money. They stop putting them in movies. It happens. They're like, all right, we're not giving you any more money to direct the movie.
In 1978, I was playing in like these little motor inns for like $30 a night by myself sitting on a stool.
2023, I was playing on these little motors.
Why bring this up? Why advertise you're exactly where you are now, where you were in 1978, 45 years ago? Nothing.
It hasn't gotten better. People don't know Frank Stallone more nowadays.
It'd be like me again, Dom. I've been podcasting for 6 years. My numbers are the same. They're horrible. They are, but I just don't bring that up all the time. Imagine if every episode was me bringing up my horrible numbers.
Right,
you know what I mean? Like, people are like, "Can we stop?" Frank does have fans. That's the thing. He does have fans. Mm-hmm. I have listeners. Play to the listeners. Just stop talking about what should be or could be or isn't. Because your listeners might be like, okay, you know what? You're actually making me feel less of a listener or a fan because I'm not enough.
Mm-hmm.
Drinking, not paying attention. After going from, doing midnight special, rock concert. And so you have to have a thick skin or you.
Good. I'm glad he does. I'm glad he's good to go.
I am still at that level. I've never come back from the 1978.
He must have a thick skin to keep this up. He must.
Going from that great adulation to at playing at like the Beef and Pub, or one of these places is a big letdown. So
I think at this point, Lauren's had enough.
I know. That's what bless her heart. I don't know what you can say at this point. I would love to be there and say something. That's the thing. I really want to interview Frank, and I kind of want to have like not a therapy session, but I really want to have like Frank. But you had it, and it's okay. Right. You actually got more than 99% of the world has. The fact that you're just even a millionaire, the fact that you even, you don't have to worry about a pension. You can travel. Right. You can go to the bar and have a drink with your buddies. Like you're living a life.
You had your own whiskey for 2 weeks. It's
like
amazing. Who could say that?
You had your face on a whiskey bottle. How many people can say that? You can see all these things. Like just embrace and enjoy the chaos.
Save yourself the grief, because the chances of getting work, especially now, I mean, they don't even audition people. You have to sit home on a phone like this and do an audition.
Now he's getting to this whole, don't even bother. Don't come to Hollywood. Don't even do it. Don't even bother. The audition via FaceTime now. Yeah, it's called technology. Things change. The world changes. They're like, hey, give me your go. And they can just tell over over a FaceTime like this, like, okay, scene. They can figure it out very quickly if you can perform on camera.
And he says that with the notion that like his brother made it, like his brother made it in this business. I don't know if the odds are you got a brother and one of you makes it. That's great. That's beautiful.
Yeah. Well, he's saying again, I didn't succeed. I didn't have success. Everyone else, just don't even bother. Don't even bother coming here. The good news is nobody's listening to Frank and people are showing up. We have nice new young stars, that's great. Yeah. I enjoy my TV shows. Half the actors I watch now, I'm getting to the age where they're younger than me by 10, 20 years.
Of course. So, yeah.
But that's okay. I love there's some great young talent out there. Absolutely.
And the chances are now with the animation and stuff, and I tell people,
now with the animation and stuff,
I can't. I love when like Frank just goes down a spiral and doesn't know what he's talking about anymore.
Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
1935 when that came out.
When that came out, nobody could act anymore. Animation killed the acting. There's been animation since that movie, and it continues with, there's some credible films being animated, but they need voice actors. They need humans to do look at Andy Serkis with Gollum or the Planet of the Apes. Those are humans doing those movements. It's much easier for the animators to work with a human that can do the movements than for the animators to create the movements. You need humans, folks. AI ain't taking over just yet. Relax.
I said, unless you have an incredibly thick skin, and most important, don't forget your day job, because
well, he's kept his.
Exactly what I said to my son.
Yeah, don't quit your day job. Don't come to Hollywood. You better have a thick skin and a thick set of hair. I think he's forgetting that too. You need to have a thick set of hair.
Chances are you working or becoming famous are so slim. Honest to God, I never thought my brother. I didn't think he was. I thought he was okay as an actor. I mean, growing up, we thought my mother guy. I go, what the hell is he doing?
Such a dick.
How often do you talk about your childhood to anybody?
Not much.
It's such an odd thing to do. Like, oh yeah, I have 3 brothers. I don't know if I've ever mentioned that to you. I have 3 brothers. We're all pretty close. Like we love each other, and they have lives and families and jobs, and they're very busy, and I'm very busy. Some of them I only talk to them at Christmas time. It's just like, hey, Merry Christmas, love you, hope all is well, catch up. They have their own life. Like just because I'm your brother doesn't mean we're going to spend every waking moment together. It depends where we live geographically, so forth and so forth. I don't go like, oh man, my younger brother, I thought he was going to be a movie star. He wanted why would I equate anything about their life where they are now, but what I thought about when they were kids? Like I never had that conversation.
Would you say Frank is living in the past?
Let me sit on that for a bit. I'm not sure.
When he's talking about the Battle of the Bands from when he was 16.
He's not the only celebrity that does this that is kind of a washed up celebrity. Why do you think they do that, some of these celebrities, when they focus on what was
the glory days, the time when there was still a possibility? It was like I was on Dinah Shore and I had it all.
Is Dinah Shore still alive?
No, I think she passed away.
Dinah Shore oh boy, yeah.
What was it, 1985?
Well, yeah, pretty close. She passed away 30 years ago.
Okay.
She was 77. She passed away at the age of 77. Her death was ovarian cancer. Well, that's sad. Oh, okay.
Way to put a damper on the podcast.
Like Rocky says, she had that woman cancer.
A woman cancer.
Like sitting around the house and stuff, like acting. We thought he was terrible.
You You really
My mother
did?
said, Frank, you better become a rock star so you can help your brother out.
Oh, come on.
And how the turntables have turned.
How the turds have tabled. Yes, indeed. He's like, you need to become a rock star to bail your brother out. Maybe that was said, but
this seems like, I mean, like whatever was said or not, but this is what probably Frank had in his head all along before they were famous. Like, oh, I'm going to become a rock star. And then Sly just came in and swiped that. And I think that's why he has this lifetime of bitterness where he's just like, oh, I was supposed to be famous.
I think we cracked the code. I think you're right. I think this is very telling for your last episode with us for a while here, Dom, is that there was implanted in his brain that he was going to be the rock star, that his brother, though he dabbled in drama and acting in high school and stuff, it was never going to be. And then it just ended up being the exact opposite. And he can't let it go. Right. He can't let go of the fact that, oh, you're so right.
Mm-hmm. He probably felt like he was so talented. And
I wish I had that confidence. I wish I was delusional. I've worked with people who have that. It's called the Dunning-Kruger effect.
Okay.
I think I'm saying it right. It's a fascinating human phenomenon. It's Dunning-Kruger, I think, were the two scientists that discovered this. Basically, when you're under the illusion that you're greater than you are and you live your life accordingly. People like you and I are probably pretty self-aware, meaning like I'm pretty self-aware of my own abilities or incapabilities and I try to work around it or navigate my life. I'm not a NASCAR driver. Like I recognize, so I don't drive like one. But people who have the Dunning-Kruger effect, they will think they're NASCAR drivers, and they think they drive like one, but then they end up causing accidents because they're not a NASCAR driver. So they live in a reality of they think they're better than they are, but they really believe it. It's not a matter of, or they're often smarter than what they think they are, what they really are, but they act like they're that smart, and they seem to kind of.
I definitely know some people like that.
Yeah, but if you were to tell them you're stupid or you're not as smart as you think you are, they'd be like, "What are you talking about?" Where someone told me, "Ryan, you don't know algebra," I'd be like, "Yeah, you're right. I don't know algebra."
Definitely know algebra.
But the thing is, what happened to him is 1 in a billion.
Yeah.
So I
love it because of 1 in a billion, just to even prove for the point that what happened to him wrecking my career with his success, it's just 1 in a billion. Like the fact that this happened to me, it's a bit of a victim thing to Frank. Like this happened to me. It's just 1 in a billion. Even the thing that happened to him is just so.
I wonder. The tables returned, and if Frank was a successful one, would he be more about follow your dreams? If it was him that it happened to, and not Sly. Let's say we lived in the alternate dimension where Sly is the Frank Stallone, and Frank is famous for his music, and "Take You Back" is a classic song. Is Frank more, do it, follow your dreams, look at me, I made it?
Good question. I have an answer. I think the universe sometimes gives what the universe gives in that's what Sly's like. At least his public persona is very like, life ain't a sunshine and rainbows.
Keep punching.
Keep punching, keep working, keep going for it. Think about that. Sly, to his credit, at least his public persona on his Instagram, keep punching, keep moving forward. You know, life's going to beat you to your knees. Keep doing it. And so he's got this positive, fight the world, do your best, go for it, go the distance, work towards your goals, dream the big dreams. And he won. Frank, his brother, don't bother showing up. Don't audition. Keep your day job. You better have a thick skin because other people's successes are going to be your failures. So don't even bother showing up.
Right.
Let's pretend then, yes, that Frank's Valentine record was 1 billion sales. I think he would be like, well, when you're the best, you're the best.
Right, exactly. He probably would be.
When the music's good, the people show up. I don't know what to tell you. You just got to play like Valentine. Not everyone can be Valentine, you know what I'm saying? But we're Valentine. Thanks for coming to the show.
Right. I would love to get a glimpse of that alternate reality, what that would have been.
And then Sly's like, hey, Frank, I've got this, really cool movie idea about a down-and-out boxer who, or a down-and-out singer who's trying to make it big in the world. Can I borrow some of your music? No, you got to make your own stuff there. I'm sorry, brother. Like, you got to
go by. I get sometimes these stupid people on the internet going, hey, I got a script. You think Rocky was good? I go, yeah, I think it was pretty good. It was nominated for 10 Academy Awards. Where you got something new or what?
Yeah.
Jeez. Holy smokes. Obviously, people that are talking to you, Frank, they're probably associates or friends because I can't just approach you and give you a script. So they're
right.
But look at the derision. Look at the derision in his face. Yeah, I think Rocky's pretty good. Yeah, I want 10 to like tell me something I don't know. Oh, you think you got something better than Rocky? Like that's what I'm talking about. See what I'm saying? This is what he would tell people if he was Valentine. You think you got something better than me? You think you got something better than Valentine?
You think the Stones are better than Valentine?
You think the Stones are better than Valentine? So he's kind of showing it there. Yeah, I've heard of Rocky. Well, you think you got something better? Okay, it's not about being better than Rocky, but maybe it's something different. Maybe it's something that's in addition to. Maybe something people could also enjoy. Why does it have to be better? Do you ever see Southpaw with Jake Gyllenhaal?
Yes.
Is it better or worse than Rocky? Irrelevant. It's a good film.
Right. Not everything has to compare to something else.
And that's probably what people are saying to him. It's like, hey, I've got this idea for Southpaw, this film. Oh, yeah, you think it's better than Rocky? Okay, jeez, relax.
I got this idea for a song, Frank. Oh, you think it's better than Take You Back? Huh?
Yeah, well, that's just it. Okay, well, boy, we still have
the endless interview.
So, Doug, are you ready to come? And Doug, this is my call to you. Doug, are you ready to come in and do part 3? Possibly part 3 or 4.
Passing the torch to Doug. I'm passing the Frank Stallone.
Is there any words of wisdom to give to Doug, Dom? Hey, D&D.
Yes. When the going gets tough with Frank, you got to keep at it. Don't be a quitter like me.
Are you going to listen to the show?
Yeah, absolutely. I got to follow up. On Frank Stallone. I got to get my Frank Stallone info.
You're willing to digest the Frank Stallone content. You just don't want to consume it. I got it.
I just can't. I can't be in the front seat with you. I can't be your co-pilot on this.
All joking aside, Dom, honestly, first and foremost, I just want to say thank you for coming on and doing the Rambo podcast with me for the last 2 seasons. Your humor, your wit, your good spirits, you truly are a good person. I think that's why I like roasting with you, because I know you as a person. You're actually a kind-hearted, sweet person. You don't have a mean bone in your body. You've always come from a good place. You've kept me in check. I've amped up my humor with you because it's like, man, I got to match this guy's wit. I love your skits, your talents that you brought to the show, the different things, the different videos you brought to the show, like today's episode. It's going to be missed. I'm going to get a little teary-eyed because, you're a true partner, and this is just a silly podcast that I do, but it's been an absolute pleasure working with you, Dom, and I know we're going to record again. This is an era. The era has ended, and an era.
I appreciate all that. I had a great time doing this. Even the Rambo stuff, it got so ridiculous. It was so fun. I'm always laughing. My wife's always making fun of me because how hard I'm laughing when I'm doing the podcast with you. We always had a good time. Like I said, I'll pop up. I will pop up. I'm not going anywhere. We're still friends. We're not leaving on bad terms or anything like that.
I hope not.
It's just something I felt I needed to do. I think I've reached a Frank max. That's really what it came down to.
Totally understand. And I think Doug will add a new perspective and a fresh perspective. It's like it's a cast change after season 5 of a show. We got 10 more seasons.
Right. Yes. It's a fresh take. You need a fresh take sometimes. I think I've said all I can say, but that doesn't mean I won't pop up at some point. I'm sure.
Yeah, Dom will always be welcome back, and definitely Dom. I can guarantee you, Dom will be on another episode. There's just no way. But take a break, take a breather. Yeah, absolutely. Take a break, take a breather. Well,
that concludes another episode of Frank Stallone. Who is this guy?
There's so much more to do. There's so much more to do. There's so much more to do, right?